All right. What's up, people? Gonna make a live video today. Just wanted to create something. I was inspired based on somebody's comment the other day that I saw that was about tattoo and dark skin versus light. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. Just a quick one. I'm over here at the Savage Studio in Miami, getting ready to drop some new art. Before I do that though, let's talk about this. Because how I look at it, I've talked to many artists about this, and how I look at it is this. There's, first off, that you want to tattoo dark skin versus light differently, okay? It's just a different process. And I'm gonna go through exactly what's different about it, compare and contrast it, dark skin versus light skin, what's possible, what's not, how you scar shit up and screw up somebody's skin, and how you don't, right? So let's talk about it. So we're gonna start with light skin. With light skin as kind of the standard of what we get used to tattooing. Now I know it's different for everybody, based on where you tattoo or whatever, but most people that I find can tattoo good on light skin sometimes struggle with dark skin. And it makes sense because the process is a little different. Looks like we got some people tuned in right now. It's early in the morning over here in Miami. I'm curious, drop a comment, let me know where you're coming in from. I appreciate you guys tuning in. So we're talking about dark skin versus light skin, and how you can do great tattoos on light skin, but if you get used to that and you don't know the difference in dark skin, you can scar somebody up, and it's just a different process. So the main difference is, right from the top angle that I find, is dark skin, it swells up faster. You're not going to be able to use a bunch of colors because they're not going to be able to be seen. One important understanding is any ink that you put in your body blends in with your skin tone. So obviously the lighter you are, the more vibrant your colors are going to be. Doesn't mean you can't have some immaculate artwork on darker skin, but it's a little different process. And you want to use the canvas the way that makes it look good. So for example, with dark skin, I find out with black and gray, when I'm shading, I'm starting with my blacks, and I might go black to a mid-gray, right? And then I use the skin as the rest of the tone. I don't want to go into my light tones, my really soft half tones like I would in a portrait on some light skin. And the reason why is because it's obviously not going to show up on the skin. It's going to scar up the skin, it's going to overwork the skin. And so you don't want to do that. You want to do less of the lighter tones and blend it into the darker skin. And from afar, that's going to make it look right. Whereas if we contrast that to lighter skin, if we would stop and if we just use the blacks and shade to the dark and mid grays, well, it would almost look unfinished on lighter skin, right? Because there's not those soft halftones. So that's one of the differences with dark skin versus light. With tattoo and gray, black and gray would be, with blacks, you're going to do black to mid grays. With light skin, you gotta do the full spectrum from dark black all the way to light gray, right? Another difference is, light skin seems to swell up in most cases a lot less than dark skin. Dark skin, sometimes it can be hard to find out exactly what's in the skin, and light skin is a little bit easier sometimes. So take those into consideration. Same with colors. Like colors, for the most part, if you use white on dark skin, it's going to turn into like a light brown, right? So keep that in mind for the healed product. It's not going to stand out on the skin the same way that it would on lighter skin. Doesn't mean you can't use it in a way that looks good, but at the end of the day, the more you step into a tattoo on dark skin with the mindset that this is a little bit different versus light skin, with that intention, the better the result's gonna come out, right? So if you got questions about this, I know I just went through a couple things that are the differences. If I didn't go through something that you might be interested in, drop that below. I'm gonna see what you guys did in the comments. Where's my comments? There we go. Harsh from India, what's up, bro? Ramesh, probably from India as well. Can we use the water clout? Can we use the water for dark skin? Can we use the water clower? I don't know if there's a typo there or if I just don't understand what you're asking, but water clower for dark skin. You gotta help me out with that one, man. Ramesh. Watercolor tattoo inks. Okay. Can you do watercolor? I would say you can, but you know, obviously keep in mind, a lot of what makes watercolor what people like is that vibrant color, right? And so the first thing that I would educate my client on before we get into this commitment and tattoo, because the last thing you want to do is tattoo them. You do a great tattoo, but because they had this idea in their mind, just like how some people, they see somebody photoshopping their tattoo work, and so they get a good tattoo, but it doesn't look like the Photoshop work, they feel let down, right? In that case, I would educate them first. It's so important to not let a client string on into a false belief system of just stuff that isn't possible. It's so important for us to educate, and when we educate, they become loyal for life. Pro tip. But when it comes to a client, I would definitely, when it comes to a client that has dark skin, they want watercolor, I would, number one, educate them before we get into this and let them know, like, hey, you know, what do you see with watercolor? And if they bring up some bright, vibrant stuff, I'd also let them know, like, look, just reality of the situation, you know, ink also blends with your skin, so this isn't gonna look like it is on this little, on the pale white skin, like it is on your skin, and that's okay, but I just want you to understand that. From there, I think it comes down to using your colors correctly and understanding the color wheel, color theory, knowing that, you know, primary colors go together. There's always three colors that go together. When they're used in, you know, combination, it's really appealing to the eyes. For example, in the background, you see something that is appealing to this piece of art in the background. Obviously, it's not the design. It's not the actual details. It's got to be the colors. It's the red, it's the blue, it's the yellow in combination. See what I'm saying? And if you look into your artwork like that, I mean, you guys might already know about color theory, so I might just be repeating myself. But if you don't, definitely look into color theory. It's one of the pillars and foundational skills as an artist, whether you're on tattoos or on skin. It'll change the game for how your tattoos look when it comes to how bright and vibrant they are, even on darker skin, because there's certain colors that you put next to each other and they pop out, and there's certain colors that you put next to each other and they don't pop out. A red is never as vibrant as a red next to a blue, for example, because it's the opposite. And lastly, watercolor. So Ramesh is also asking, some colors are very transparent and some are thick, so which is better? Well, I mean, okay, there we go. I mean, I think it comes down to experimentation first and foremost. I can't tell you that because everybody's skin is different, you know. So, but I would say if I'm in the middle of a tattoo, number one, I always start very lightly with whatever I'm doing, because I know sometimes it doesn't go in the way I want it to. Sometimes the skin's a little rough. It's like reptilian skin or something versus soft skin. So I want to make sure I get the feel of what I'm working with today. And if I'm using a thick color or a thinner color, you got to test it out on skin, regardless of what color it is. Sometimes you're going to find colors just don't show up on skin. Sometimes you're going to find a color that's made with a thicker pigment versus a thinner pigment just doesn't work for this skin. So that comes down to experimentation, man. I can't tell you which is better. It's totally different, and it depends on how you tattoo as well. I would just say go for it, man. Just start off light, you know, and understand that every tattoo is going to be different. Even if you know what you're doing, it doesn't matter how many tattoos you've done. The more you understand that, like, every client's skin is going to be different. They're going to be very similar. They might be similar to something you've worked with in the past, but you know, skin's different. It goes into people different. They sit differently. So I like to treat them, every single person, unique, and just kind of start off an experiment. So, all right, yo. I'm gonna finish this video. Looks like I've answered all your questions. Keep them coming. You know, when you keep the questions coming on these YouTube videos, and I see some of those, it inspires me to drop some stuff. So, much love. Also, if we're not connected on Instagram or Facebook, go ahead and find me. I think there's some links below on this video. If not, just search for me. I'm not hard to find. Let's keep connected. 2021. Let's make it a really good year. Have a good one.